Sorry, took care of business. Majority Report. Expecting apologies for pushing him before is wild. Woke shit. How about you try, like, for a moment, just considering. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying apologize for constantly calling anything against Platner a smear campaign. It's about the way that a lot of these leftist commentators treated victims that had tried to come out and speak about it before, and treated any criticism as a smear campaign. It's not apologizing for picking someone that you thought was worth winning. I don't have any issue with that. I think saying, hey, yeah, his comments before were unacceptable, and I hear everything everyone is saying, but I do believe him when he says that he's changed, and every single policy that he's for is something I'm for, and I think he will benefit the people of Maine. There is no apology needed. You were willing to listen. You explained why your position hadn't changed, and now your position has changed. It's about it's about this shit that I took issue with. Honestly, it's in the very beginning.
War and death and other bad stuff. I've only made one other video about Graham Platner back in mid-November of 2025. He has been in the news quite a bit since then, but it turns out, I think I did a pretty good job in the original video covering all of the bases. So I didn't think it was necessary until now. Let me catch you up in case you missed everything until this moment. Last year, Graham Platner launched his campaign to win one of Maine's Senate seats for the Democrats. It's an important seat. It could shift control of the Senate to the Dems. Platner is a former Marine who had a fairly progressive platform, like championing Medicare for all, criticizing U.S. aid to Israel, etc. So a lot of progressives were very excited to support him. And then his opposition went to work. First, someone exposed his Reddit account where a few years ago he blamed women for being raped and said that...
This is insane. This is a real Reddit post from him. Holy fuck, how about people just take some responsibility for themselves and not get so fucked up that they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to? Men and women, you make a choice to consume enough of a substance to lose your self-control. So if you don't want to be in a compromising situation, act like an adult for fuck's sake. Rape is a real thing. If you're so worried about it, to buy Kevlar underwear, you think you might not get blacked out, fucked up around people you aren't comfortable with. You know what's crazy? It actually doesn't matter how many people get blacked out. You don't rape them! That's insane!
He wished he had been able to fight the Indians back when the United States was genociding Native Americans instead of the pointless wars he had to fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. By had to fight, he volunteered to fight them several times over. Platner apologized for those Reddit posts, and then his opposition revealed he has an actual Nazi tattoo on his chest, which he got 19 years ago to celebrate fighting as a Marine in Fallujah. Instead of apologizing for the Nazi tattoo, Platner made up the completely ridiculous story that he had no idea the tattoo was a very famous Nazi symbol, and it was on his chest for 19 years. Instead of criticizing this really obvious lie, among others he would tell, and calling on Platner to step down and support a different progressive candidate 6 months before the primary, many prominent leftists repeated his lies and continued to promote Platner to their audiences. In that original video, I specifically called out
We'll Just Start, obviously,
Ryan Grimm, but I've also noted, Hassan Piker, Kyle Kulinski, the Young Turks, and many other commentators that continued to support him. Anyway, here's how I wrapped up that video.
My own personal opinion is that he probably figured out what it was several years ago, but was also like, well, it's not like I can justify this to me, speaking to himself, and anybody who knows me knows I'm not a Nazi. So am I really going to go and pay for this thing to get all screwed up? That's my guess.
So you agree? You agree that Graham Platner is probably lying about not knowing he had a Nazi tattoo? Sam comes to the same conclusion I did, but he doesn't go the extra mile. the extra 12 inches to wonder what it means to support a politician who lies that easily about a Nazi tattoo. He knew he had a Nazi tattoo. He knew he would face no consequences for it. And then he lied about it when he was finally facing consequences. That's your guy? Again, do I think Platner is a Nazi, an anti-Semite? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so. I do know that he is a walking PR disaster, and platforming him removes prominent leftists' ability to rightfully call out anti-Semitic dog whistles.
I'm linking the video. Excellent video. Amazing video. 10 out of 10. Rebecca Watson. Just, and this is like, it's like the very dismissive nature of all of the criticism is just insane. I have no problem with people who, one, didn't know about this stuff. Like, so like average everyday people who didn't know, because like no one was covering this stuff. But also the commentators who said, listen, if you vote for Platner because he's the best option in Maine, I understand that. And, you know, I encourage you to vote for whoever you think will bring the best policies. I think Platner has a very suspicious record. I wish that we would have an actual DSA endorsed candidate. I wish that we would have a candidate that doesn't have this just like PR disaster waiting to happen. I don't want to vote for a candidate with a fucking Nazi tattoo. And we really should be using this as an opportunity to like push other candidates that maybe would have a better chance of winning instead of ignoring this stuff. But if this is the best we have, I understand, but also I don't want this candidate. And like, that's like, there's nothing in my eyes, there's nothing wrong with that stance. There's nothing wrong with that stance at all. I know other people would disagree with me and say, no, you shouldn't give any leeway at all. But that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I just think like you can get caught up in like, not the team sports of it, but like the team sports of it. And you can end up putting more eggs in a basket than you think that you just get so caught up and you want your guy to win so bad that you start just ignoring everything. Like people have blind spots. I understand. What Ryan Grimm did is like, goodbye, Ryan Grimm. Goodbye. Goodbye forever. That's incredible. That is literally incredible. That's amazing. Fuck you. Like, I've heard everything I need to. Versus something like this.
Obviously, I do feel a responsibility as a woman that, you know, perhaps, I don't know, I'm still thinking about this, but I believe in redemption, restorative justice, and that is what had driven me to support Platner despite some of his past. But when we're talking about
Hassan called him his goat, chat. Come on. Okay, let me say two things. One, I also think Hassan supported him too uncritically. I don't think he supported him uncritically, but I think he could have been more critical, to be very clear. But second, he calls Candace Owens his goat, all right? He says Fox News is his goat. I would take him describing someone as his goat with a grain of salt. I'm pretty sure he says Trump is his goat. I'm pretty sure he said Biden was his goat. I think that's... You can criticize Hassan, and I would say I think he should have been more critical. I think he should have been a lot more critical of Graham Platner than he was. I think he could still be like, I think this is still the best candidate in Maine. But I think he should have been more critical. But saying like, well, you called him his goat. It's like, okay, all right. Wait, that's a meaningless statement. That's literally a meaningless statement. All right.
forcible rape and sexual assault, obviously, there is no excuse.
He was critical of him, though. Listen to the words I'm saying. I said he should have been more critical. All right. What does that imply? That he was not enough.
And immediately once I read the story, I knew that he had to drop out of the race. And so I'm sorry if there are any women in the audience that feel that I failed them. I take that super seriously. I carry that with me. And I'm sorry. So, I still maintain that what was said in the New York Times was not disqualifying, but what is alleged here just absolutely is. And the not that it should matter given what the details were and what the corroboration is, but this individual, this woman who is accusing him, supports his politics, and that is why she was reticent to come forward in the first place. And I'm sorry if myself or anybody, I'm sorry if I contributed to that culture. And so I'm reflecting on that myself. Now, the national media is going to try to blame this on DSA. I'm already seeing this. He was not endorsed by DSA. Like Gonzalez in Colorado, you can't just call someone a DSA style candidate.
Correct. Isn't there a part of the left had very few viable candidates, so it's better than nothing? I mean, I already addressed that point, so yes. Yes, there were red flags, but with no actual proof, no one could have actually known. I think that it's a little bit more than with no actual proof. I think someone's actions, combined with their words, combined with their Nazi tattoo, speaks on their beliefs on hierarchical structures and how they view other people. It's like, this is a pattern of behavior that is innate. And I don't think that, okay, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a bitch, so I'm just going to say it, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. I don't think you realize that the people who you like admitted this and said, I think he changed. So there was proof that he believed in all of these hierarchical structures, which also, in the specific hierarchical structures that he believed in, would put women under men, and thereby making it so their consent is not important. But they saw that evidence of that belief system, and they said, I think he has changed. And they believed that he changed. Not that there was no proof, but that they believed that he was changed. So I think you should correct your statement there. It's my personal. There was also proof of personal growth. I mean, I would argue that there wasn't proof of personal growth. I would argue all he did was say the right things. I don't know that he actually proved any growth. He just said, like, and this is what I believe in, and I believe in all the good things. All right. In hindsight, true. So I'm not trying to, like, blast you. I'm not trying to, like, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to, like, make this a hostile environment to chatters that are just trying to have a conversation. Because the chatters that are just straight up doing rape apologia, they're just getting banned. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't have any fucking, I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of my chat. But if you're just trying to have a conversation, I just think that, like, we could all do better. And I think that, like, he didn't do enough to get the level of support that he got and the lack of criticalness that should have been there. So yeah, that's my opinion. And again, you guys already know my stance. Like, I don't believe in burning leftists forever. There aren't that many, like, political commentators on the internet that, or just in general, progressive political commentators that exist, period, that I'm willing to just, like, throw the baby out with the bathwater. All right? Like, I'm not down for that. I don't want to just, like, okay, well, this person made this mistake this one time to throw them out. It's like, guys, we've got, like, 10, all right? Let's try and get them to change and improve. Oh, Ryan Grimm saw this and immediately started going on defense about how Politico was not reporting this correctly, and let's start poking holes in this story. Now you can get thrown out. Now you can get thrown out. Okay, fuck you. But if you see this and you're like, hey, I could have been better. I'm sorry. I contributed to this, which is what Emma Vigeland said here. I contributed to, like, this culture that makes women feel unsafe and makes them not feel like they can come out, and I shouldn't have done that, and I should be better, and I want to be better. Like, that's what I want, okay? I think we can be critical and ask for more. That's all. I don't think that, I think that that's reasonable. I think that that's mostly pretty reasonable. If you double down on Platner, I mean, we all know that Anna Kasparian is not a progressive at this point, but...
Because it places us in this unbearable position of having to adjudicate something that should have been adjudicated in a court of law if this actually took place. If someone entered my home and forcibly raped me, I would not allow the individual who forcibly raped me, that's violent, right, to remain in my home and sleep it off. But that is what she did. She alleges that he was so drunk that she didn't want to tell him to leave because he might harm someone on the road. He just forcibly raped you, right? Call the cops, or more importantly, get the hell out of the house. But she did neither one of those things. Neither one of those things. Yeah. Because it places us.
Didn't this lady leave the left because she felt like people on the internet didn't take her sexual assault seriously? Yeah, guys, you know, I wonder why the woman who was raped didn't immediately wake up the rapist who just raped her. Yeah. I wonder why. It must have been because she was chill. She was chill about it. That must have been it, right? Okay, that's amazing. That's incredible. I'm a trans woman. I didn't know my opinion of her could get any lower, yet here we are, says one chatter. You know, it can always go lower. It can always go lower. But guys, I think you guys were shitting on a good chatter. Why did this chatter get banned? Can you chat? Why did we ban this person? You guys just banned someone who didn't deserve to be banned. Okay, my mods chill a little bit. They were saying, that's not how it works. I mean, she's right. He could crash. The chatter was saying that the rape victim was right. That maybe you shouldn't put a drunk person in front of a car so that they can go what? After they've raped you, they can go kill some people on the fucking road and drive drunk? They were just saying that. Misunderstanding. Sorry about that chatter. Friendly fire on that chatter. Friendly fire. Like, it's also like, I'm sorry. Maybe this is too woke. I don't think it's too woke, but I'm always surprised. Maybe this is too woke. I'm not going to tell a rape victim what they need to do immediately after they're raped. That's fucking crazy. Like, do you fucking hear yourself? Well, you should have immediately alerted the police. You should have immediately gotten a rape kit done. You should immediately not feel any trauma or any concern or pain or discomfort. You should be a completely stiff robot, do everything correctly, 100%. It's like, it takes people years to process that they were even assaulted sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not writing a how to be the perfect rape victim guide. How about, oh yeah, and I guess if you were in their shoes, you would have done everything correct. Fuck you, man. Like literally fuck you, man. Like, I just have no words for that. I have no words, man. What more did you want her to do besides say, no, stop, don't come over, and when he was over, say, stop, get off me? Like, what? All right. I'm sorry. Like, I'm people who say that make me think that they've never experienced trauma. I blocked my sexual assault from my memory for years. I couldn't even acknowledge it without breaking down. I hate this lady so much. Jesus Christ, said Meowzelbub. Chad, I used to it's also like, this is a lighthearted story to help cut through some of the tension. There was a step in my house growing up, or like my apartment growing up, and I would like carry stuff. And I used to run a lot when I was younger, before I was a gamer. And more than once, I think at least 5 times, I would run, trip on the step, and then I would literally drop the entire gallon of milk on the floor, and then I would watch it. And then my mom would threaten to beat my ass and be like, what are you doing? Pick it up! And that's to say, I was so stressed in that moment, I couldn't move. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? This is when I was really young. This idea that like you need to respond perfectly every time to everything is like, it's just insane. It's just insane. Especially when like, I don't know, man. Personally, I wouldn't want to wake up the rapist in my house because I wouldn't want them to fucking rape me again. Just really quickly. I don't know why that's so like controversial to think, because that's what I thought immediately when I saw it. I was immediately like, yeah, I actually wouldn't want to interact with that person. So you literally cried over spilled milk? Yeah, I did. I spilled a really expensive wine bottle and I legitimately froze while it was pouring over because I was so stressed my parents would beat my ass. And that's us reacting to really simple things. That's like me reacting to dropping a liquid on the floor. And not even on carpet. It's on like linoleum or whatever. And I was so stressed, I couldn't react to that. This idea that it's like you would go through something actually traumatic. Because dropping something is not necessarily traumatic, right? Especially as a kid. But like actually going through something extremely traumatic where your consent has been completely violated by another person. And you expect them to act perfectly. Like, fuck. Like, literally, like, fuck you, man. Like, oh my God. You're scum. You are scum of the earth. You're so scum. Somebody needed to stop Anna there and say, I'm sorry. Did you just say the word let just now about a guy who sexually assaulted you by force, harsh reality checks are sometimes called for. It's so insane. It's so insane, man. Personally, the only time you should be flaming people for reacting poorly is in team fights in video games. That's totally fair game, all right? I don't care how stressed you were. Grow up, all right? Go in, man. We're going to lose the point. Please, for the love of God. And I will yell at you for an hour afterward. I'm sorry. Being stressed isn't a good enough reason for you to be losing my fucking LP and my RP, man. That's not good enough. I need you to be better, man. I need you to be better. I will tell you an uninstall.